Hey guys, it's Will from Tested. I'm here with another episode of In Search of the Perfect Cup, where I try to find the perfect way to make a cup of coffee, because I like coffee that much. This week we're looking at cold brewing using this guy. It's called the Toddy cold brewing system. So the idea with cold brewing is that instead of pouring all sorts of nasty, near boiling water into your coffee grounds, what you actually do is instead put cool water into the coffee grounds, a whole lot of coffee, let it sit for 12 hours or more, and then the idea is that that extracts a lot of the aromatics and the stuff that gives coffee its awesome flavor without any of or as much of the oils and acids. So we're going to give it a try. I'm going to show you how it works. I haven't perfected this yet. I've only done it a couple of times so far, so bear with me and we'll see something exciting. The first thing I'm going to do is take this little rubber stopper and insert it in the hole where the coffee will eventually drain out, tomorrow. And just insert it here. It's important you put it in from the bottom because you need to be able to get this thing out without having to jam your hand through the nasty coffee grounds and all that stuff as it's cooking. So make sure it's in there real good. If you don't, you're going to have a horrible mess in the refrigerator when you come back in the morning. The next thing we're going to do is take a filter. So this is a special filter. It comes with the Toddy. It's reusable up to 10 times, or I think they even say like a couple of months. I've used this one once or twice so far. You can see it's a little gray, but not real gross. It's important that you clean it off when you're done, but I'm just going to get it wet. So I'm using some conveniently placed water here. And then I'm going to place it in the bottom of the Toddy. If you can see, there's a little cutout hole that's pretty much exactly sized for it. And you just push it down in there. That looks about right to me. So you put the filter in place. Make sure it's wet when you put it in. That's very important. Make sure you also don't knock the rubber stopper out, which is what I just did a moment ago. That would be a very messy mistake. Next thing we're going to do is grind the coffee. It's you use a much coarser grind for this than you do with almost anything else. Closer to a French press or a drip machine than to, say, an AeroPress or something like that. So I'm setting my Virtuoso over here to 30, which is what seemed to work pretty well before. I have relatively fresh beans here. These are Ritual beans. It's an espresso blend that they make. I've tried a couple of really light coffees with this. It hasn't worked out. I mean, it's worked out okay, but the flavor hasn't been exactly what I wanted. So I'm using a darker, kind of richer bean, as you can see, an espresso bean. It's roasted a little bit more, and we'll see how that actually turns out. I'm going to grind the whole 12-ounce bag because you put 12 ounces of coffee in here. We're going to make a week's worth of coffee. And the nice thing about this is it makes concentrate, so you can then add some water to it, make a normal Americano-style coffee. You can add ice and milk to it, make an iced coffee, all sorts of options. So, can't get quite the whole bag in here. Where's my lid? Put that guy on, flip the switch. It's going to get real loud in here, so hold on just a sec. So I've ground what I'm pretty sure is at least half of the coffee. I'm going to take it out. I'm going to measure 6 ounces here using my scale, which is going to be about half. I've tared it to count this filter. We're not going to use the filter for anything other than holding the coffee, but it was just a convenient way to weigh. So that's about well, that's about 6 ounces. Let me go a little bit further. We got to do a little bit more, so hold on just a sec. 5 7/8, close enough. Before we grind more coffee, what we're going to do is add the first cup of water to the bottom of the Toddy. Which you do that so that the coffee grounds that we add next will actually float on the surface of the water rather than sinking down to the bottom and clogging up this filter. Because if the filter clogs, the whole thing stops working and you have to get out a knife and scrape the top, and it's a big pain in the ass. I'm going to slowly dump the coffee into the water. And the thing that happens here is the coffee, you can see, is all floating on the top. Okay, so when this is 3 more cups of water in my hand. I'm going to pour it in a gentle circular motion, and not too quickly. So the idea is you want to get as much of the grounds wet as you can with this, without again kicking them all to the bottom and causing yourself a lot of problems down the road. Okay, so you can see the coffee starting to react a little bit. We're getting some carbon dioxide released from the grounds, and part of that's because they're good fresh grounds, freshly ground. And part of it is that this is kind of an interesting way to make coffee. So the next thing we need to do, I've measured out another 6 ounces of coffee. I'm going to take that and dump that in here again. It's a little bit less, you have to be a little bit less careful this time because there's less chance of you sinking something all the way down and clogging up the filter. So I'm just going to kind of dump this around, get it all even. And then we're going to walk away for 5 minutes before we add the last 3 cups of water to the mix. So the timer starts now. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. It's been 5 minutes. The first batch of coffee is really soaked into that water. I'm getting ready to add the last 3 cups of water on top of the grounds. So let's get that started. Okay, so you can see the top grounds are already pretty wet. I'm going to go ahead and pour the next 3 cups of water in. This is the last water we'll add, so it's 7 cups of water total. And I'm just going to do, again, the gentle circular motion. Not too much. The idea is to make kind of a little bit of a vortex. It'll pull the dry grounds from the top down further into the water without, clogging up the filter at the bottom. So look how active this is going. It's really hopping. There's a lot of carbon dioxide releasing. So all the water's in, all the coffee's in. The temptation right now is to get a spoon and stir this up. That is a bad idea. That will, in case you haven't guessed it, clog the filter. So what I'm going to do is put some saran wrap over the top of this, put it in the fridge, let it sit overnight, and we'll come back tomorrow morning about 12 hours. So I forgot to mention on the other spot, if you have dry spots on the top of the coffee and you feel nervous about that, you can take a spoon, take the flat side of the spoon and just kind of tap them really lightly to kind of just get them just a little bit under the water. Now, though, we're done. I'm putting this in the fridge. We'll be back in 12 hours. Okay, so it's been, well, more than 12 hours because we didn't come in at 6 o'clock this morning, but let's grab the coffee out of the fridge and see how it looks. Ugh. There's a definite slurry in here. If you look, it looks almost like coffee does in the filter basket. Let's go set this up on the brew stand and pull the coffee out. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is actually take the container full of brewed coffee, pull the plug, and set it down on this carafe that comes with the Toddy. It's going to drain down in there over the period of 10 or 15 minutes probably, I guess. Not really sure, because I may have done it wrong before, and this is the first time I got it right. So let's pull the plug and see how it goes. Seems significantly faster than when I've done this before, so it may not take as long as I think it is, but it is 7 cups of water, so it's a lot of water draining out. So it looks like we're about done. I think it's drained as much as it's going to. I mean, we might get a few more drips out of here, but I don't want to get any bad stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and stopper it back up. We'll take it back in the kitchen, and cleanup is really easy. You just need to clean the grounds out, and then take something that's not pointy and jam it up in the hole to pop the filter out. If you rinse the filter out immediately, you can use it up to 10 more times. Or up to 10 times total, which should last you, if this amount of concentrate lasts you a week or two, then that should last you 2 or 3 months at least. And I think the Toddy comes with 2 filters. You can order more from Amazon or any number of other places. So I'm going to set this aside. We're done with this, and let's taste the coffee. I usually find that since this is a concentrate, 2 parts of water to 1 part of concentrate makes a cup of coffee that I like. Of course, you can kind of adjust and try different things as you like. It's also great for iced coffee. So what I do is do 1 part of coffee concentrate there, and then I fill the rest up with milk, 2% whole milk, whatever you like, and add some ice. You get a great iced coffee with incredible flavor without a whole lot of hassle. So I have 180 degree water in my right hand, coffee concentrate in my left hand, 1 part coffee, 2 parts water. I'm gonna dump it in. Oh, it smells good. Good and coffee. Tastes delicious. So this has been the Toddy cold brewing system. You can get it, it's like $25, $30 at Amazon, any number of places that sell coffee stuff. I recommend a darker roast, richer coffee than a more mild coffee. Basically grind it up, grind it coarse, put it in for 12 hours, don't clog the filter, and it makes great regular coffee or iced coffee relatively easily. So for Tested, I'm Will Smith. Thanks for watching. Bye.